Okay, good.
Yeah, that's good. Right guys, I'm Sounds head coach, Van Rooyen, and captain Morris Lowe. Kick us off.
Coach, a game of where you guys were pretty much your own worst enemies.
Yeah, I think early on, I think on attack too many skill and breakdown errors, which gave ball to them, and then I think defensive breakdown we conceded too much early penalties, which took them 3-6-9. And also saying that obviously, I think it's the first game that no bounce has gone their way. Every bounce seems to have gone their way. You could feel from, obviously I'm not next to the field, but from upstairs you could feel them dictating the tempo of the game. Them, whether they're sitting or playing, it doesn't matter. They're still dictating the game. And once they got ahead, they just managed to squeeze us. And because you don't get tempo and you don't get into the game, obviously you feel frustrated. They just squeezed us.
Marius, that said, against the champion team with the marks of the time, you can't make too many mistakes. Do you feel that you almost have to do more?
No, I don't think you have to do more. I think if you fall into the trap of wanting to do more, because obviously they're a champion team. Yeah, I feel like the first half, like Coach mentioned, we sort of just let them in with easy mistakes. And yeah, like Coach mentioned, they squeezed us. Like they got set piece, they disrupt our lineouts. We couldn't get front football. So yeah, don't necessarily think doing more. I think it's just doing the basics better.
If that being said, I mean that first half, a bit more accuracy in execution inside the A22. I mean, you had, I think 3 rolling balls, that sort of thing. And I mean, you would have gone into the break on level terms. I mean, you really kind of matched them in that first half, except for finishing your opportunities.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think we probably created even more than what they created. Like I said, just the 3 rolling balls couldn't really execute there. Eric's just out of on top of there. Eric's chip and chase, ball bounced over his head. Sanele's cross kick, ball kept on rolling left. Ball fall on the ground. Willem wants to kick it through, misses it. Simon Zebo kicks it through, and then I think that incident happened from there, Mara. So it's, yeah, like I say, it's literally no bounce. I think we created enough. We once we could get going, I think we looked dangerous, but just didn't manage to finish off or get the last pass or 1 or 2 more phases.
Does it make it more disappointing, Coach, that they played so little and won by so much? You know, I think at a stage in the second half, you guys had made only about 40 tackles on them, and yet for them to get a 20-point win.
I think that's part of the squeeze. They're barely playing their half. They didn't allow us counter opportunity. We knew that they're going to kick the ball up in the air. That's the way that they play. They do that well, and from there you've got to generate quick ball and play. And initially that's where we made some errors, so we just couldn't get playing. And then, like Mara said, they disrupted set piece really well. Again, lineouts we couldn't get going, and then they scored two lineout mortars at the end, which kind of sealed it for them.
Mara, just on the pitch in the first half, Munster started with 3-6-9 points. You sort of felt that maybe they were playing a bit more test rugby approach. What is the thinking just around the game plan in that first quarter?
Yeah, we felt we were still putting them under pressure, and then once we went to the corner, we got a penalty, got another penalty, they got a warning, and then we didn't execute. So I think it was in that stage of the game we felt it was the right call. Then obviously things changed. Then we got under the pump again, started our own half. Then we had to rebuild again, got penalties, and that's when we started taking points. So yeah, at that stage we felt it was the right call.
Marius, just a word on your clash with Simon Zebo there. From up here, it didn't look like you'd connected very hard with him, and he flew to the floor quite hectically. Did he go down a bit easy, or did you just misjudge and connect pretty hard with him there?
I can't say from his point of view. From my point of view, obviously it wasn't intentional. He's a very experienced player, and I think he did it exceptionally well, and then sold it to them and they fell for it. So
Yeah, coach, I was going to ask about that. There was a lot of gamesmanship from Munster. They kind of took their moments to slow down the game and make sure they frustrated you guys even more. Is that a valuable lesson going now into the final part of the season where you have to now win pretty much every game that's left to you?
There's various answers I can give you. I think the biggest lesson out of it is if you're going to concede position to them, they can dictate play. They can dictate tempo. If you don't really make a lot of errors and you have got majority of the ball, then they can't really sit, or they can't slow it down, or they can't, for every set piece, go 2 or 3 down at a stage. If you make an error and it's their scrum or their line out, then they can dictate the tempo. So I think that's the lesson we got to learn out of it. Is we know that all the teams want to do it. That's the benefit we have is altitude. But to use it, you've got to minimize your errors.
What's the plan for the last 3 games now? Like I said, this loss puts you guys a bit at a disadvantage that you now have to go and face Cardiff, Glasgow, and then go to possibly down to Cape Town and beat the Stormers there. What's the plan now? How are you guys going to go move forward and make sure that you achieve that objective?
Well, I think we basically got to win all 3 probably. So I think it's the old cliche of sticking to process, and why I want to say that is I don't think Munster did anything that we didn't train for and that we didn't expect. It's just the execution. So we've been saying it the whole week and last week as well, is we got to minimize errors. So whatever pressure we can recreate in training sessions as much as possible, we got to create that. Keep on showing the right pictures of what we can expect in defence and attack from the opposition, and then just be more clinical from our side. I think that they won the small and the big moments tonight as well. So for us, it's the team that probably dominate more tend to win that small battles more. So a lot of lessons to learn out of tonight. I know it doesn't sound nice, but we just got to be better. And when I say better, is I don't think we were out-passioned or outplayed in terms of building phases and momentum and line breaks. But like I said, we just got to be more clinical from tonight's defensive breakdown and on attack keeping our ball.
Coach, how badly do you miss a guy like Kieran, especially in those last moments, those last passes that don't go to touch, don't go to hand? How badly do you miss a guy like him?
Yeah, obviously a quality player like Kieran with loads of X factor, with a good left boot, with the ability to beat players. When you need game breakers, he's that kind of guy. It was nice on the other side to see Johnny back on the field after a while again. Also got that similar ability. Hopefully Kieran will be back for the next game.
Coach, we've spoken about it sort of ad nauseum this season, but the inconsistency, from a brilliant performance one week to a disappointing one the next, how do you sort of fix that? Because it must be quite sad to have gone from that Leinster performance to this.
Yeah. If I'm really honest, and I know it doesn't sound, what I'm going to say now doesn't sound accurate after if you look at the points difference, but I don't think we've been outplayed in terms, like I said, in general terms. I think we've been outsmarted a little bit with dictating tempo. I think where there's legal, illegal, they really mess up your attacking breakdown. You eventually have to send numbers in there, or your ball's always kind of slow. So I don't think it's a disappointing. The result's disappointing after Leinster, but I don't think the effort or the performance was disappointing. The outcome didn't come for us, but like I said, penalties, skill areas, I think the big thing, and then we shouldn't concede more tries.
Have you figured out what the threshold might be to get you into the top?
I'll probably answer you a little bit more accurate after this weekend, because it's literally so close that 8 points could sneak you in there, 10 points could potentially sneak you in there, 12 points could, maybe you need 15. It's literally so close.
48.
Yeah, so well, that's where we now. That is it. 10, 12 points for us.
8 of that.
Yeah. So that's what I said for us. It's 3 games left. Win all 3. That's all that we can control. Is us. That if we do what we have to do here, that Stormers game could get real spicy.
Marius, it's good to have a week off now, just to get you guys to recalibrate and sort of get that belief back in the group, or do you think that's something you guys can easily get fired up for again for that last 3 game run?
To be honest, it's not great having a week off after losing. You want to, go back on Monday, get into it, so you can have another weekend to rectify everything. But it is the way it is, and we'll take the rest, we'll take it well, and we'll come back better, definitely.
Has that been the toughest thing of the URC so far? I mean, you have a run of form break, these gaps in between. Have that been challenging for you guys just to get up?
I think it depends where you are in the season and what kind of momentum you have or don't have. It's getting to the business end of EPCR in Europe, so some teams will travel and play and some teams don't. But it's a bit of both. If you have momentum, like Mara said, or you don't have, you want to play and fix it immediately. If you have 1 or 2 niggles, a week off is always nice to get those guys back. So depends. I think if you ask what we prefer, is straight to go, but that's just the way of the competition.
Cool. Happy guys? One more. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone. Enjoy your weekend.